This meeting has been posted in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. And at this time, I will ask you to please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you very much. And we do have a quorum. If I didn't mention that, we do have a quorum. And at this time, I'll ask Mr. Shane Strubart to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mr. President, trustees, administration, and audience. Tonight's pledge will be led by Hadley Keith. Hadley is a 7th grade student at Gutierrez Middle School. She has been on the honor roll since the 3rd grade. This year, she represents Gutierrez Middle School in tennis and as a dedicated National Junior Honor Society member. Her teachers describe her as a great role model and ambassador of GMS. Hadley enjoys playing tennis, reading, and watching A&M football. Her extracurricular activities outside of school include shooting sports and being an active member of her youth group at St. Albans, all while maintaining her grades. She plans on attending Texas A&M to study agricultural food and resources. She is joined tonight by her parents, Hunter and Lorraine Keith. Ladies and gentlemen, Hadley Keith.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you very much, Hadley. We're honored to have you here this evening. And I went to the other school in Texas, so please be nice to me, okay? Thank you. We're really proud to have you here. Thank you for doing that. So at this time, the most exciting time for us as board members to celebrate our success in the district and our students and highlight our students. So we'll proceed, Mr. Strubart, if you don't mind, with the recognition of PTSA Students of the Month for September and October.
Thank you, Mr. President, board members, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. Harlingen City Council PTA serves as an important link among other district PTAs, Texas PTA, and national PTA. As they work together to inspire and guide our campus chapters, the council promotes membership and unity to engage our families, HCISD staff, and our community in the education of children. Tonight, we will recognize our Harlingen City Council PTA September and October PTSA Students of the Month. The students you will see on camera proudly represent Harlingen High School, Harlingen High School South, Early College High School, and Harlingen School of Health Professions. We are excited to continue our tradition of having this video produced by a team of students at the Media Arts and Communications Academy. Enjoy the video.
My name is Sydney Powelson, and I'm a senior at Harlingen High School. I am currently the president of HOSA and a student leader in Young Life Capernaum. I am also an active member in NHS at FFA and am a member of the Rio Grande Valley Livestock Show Cover Girl Court as 4th runner-up. I am also a member of the highest level of dance at Palm Valley Gymnastics and Dance. I'm very passionate about helping children and just anyone with disabilities or special needs. I one day hope to have saved up enough money to either make large donations to foundations or even start my own foundation for people with disabilities or special needs. I have been accepted into Texas A&M University and hope to obtain a bachelor's degree in poultry science. I plan to pursue a career in the contract sales portion of the meat industry.
My name is Brittany Brandenburg, and I'm currently a senior at Harlingen High School. I am actively involved in NHS and FFA. I am passionate about helping people and giving back to my community. I have been accepted into the University of Texas A&M College Station and plan to pursue a degree in biomedical sciences and further my education as a nurse practitioner.
My name is Emily Weich, and I am a senior at Harlingen High School. I'm currently the PTSA president. I'm in NHS, I'm a leader in volleyball, and I am also in the student advisory board. I'm passionate about kids and not giving them, or giving them whatever they haven't been able to receive, whether they've been small, and just talking to them and making them feel a little bit better, brightening up their day just a little bit, because you never know what anyone's going through, and that's what I'm passionate about. I'm looking at UTSA and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. I want to pursue a career in nursing, and I want to be a pediatric oncologist nurse because I just love kids, and those kids are so humble, and I want to give them what they haven't been receiving recently.
Hi, my name is Sarah Valdez, and I'm a senior at Harlingen High School. I am currently involved in cheer, NHS, ecology, and I'm secretary for both PTSA and the senior class. I am passionate in giving back to my community. That is why I volunteered many hours as a Girl Scout. I am currently undecided on the university I will attend, but I am looking at St. Mary's, Incarnate Word, and UTSA. I plan to go into political science so I could become a lawyer in the future.
My name is Sophia Piercy, and I'm a senior at Harlingen High School South. I'm involved in NHS as treasurer. I'm senior class secretary. I'm a board member of PTSA, and I'm also in AP Science Club. Spending time with my friends and family, because you always have to put them first and make sure that they're important in your life. After I graduate from high school, I plan to go to UT, McCombs Business School, study business. I hopefully, after college, want to own my own business and be an entrepreneur.
My name is Victoria Sines, and I am a senior at Harlingen High School South. I am in the NJCL club here at Harlingen South, and I am the secretary, and I am also the co-captain of our swim team. I am very passionate about helping people feel their best. My profession that I would like to go into is dermatology, so I think through that I can help them accomplish that goal. I plan on attending the University of Texas A&M and studying biochem.
My name is Sydney Gill, and I'm a senior at Harlingen High School South. I'm a part of the Southern Stars, NHS, and Ecology Club, but I do not have any leadership roles. I'm passionate about my friends and family, because they all support me with everything that I do. After I graduate, I plan to go to A&M or Sam Houston, and I would like to major in forensic science or technology.
and become a forensic scientist after that.
My name is Alyssa Dela Cruz, and I'm a senior at Harlingen High School South. As of right now, I've been in the Palm Valley competitive dance team for 6 years, and I'm also the captain of the Palm Valley competitive dance team. In addition, I am here at the Harlingen Performing Arts Conservatory, and I'm also the dance captain here as well for In the Heights. I'm very passionate about dance, and it gives me an outlet to express myself in ways that verbally I can't, and it just helps relieve stress, and I just love it so much. For college, I want to attend Baylor University in the pre-med track, and I want to major in kinesiology and exercise science. And after that, I would like to become a sports physician for a traveling sports team and help injured athletes. Come see In the Heights. It opens October 31st and runs through November 7th. It's going to be an amazing show, and I really hope everyone comes out to go see it.
My name is Caroline Granum. I'm a senior at Early College High School. I'm in Celtic soccer for club in Harlingen. I am a senior mentor at Early College, and I'm the president of the senior mentors. I also I'm in a club called the Rescue Crew, which they go out in the community and volunteer and help out animals, and I'm the founder and president of that club. And yeah, that's just to name a few. I am passionate about my education because that is my number one priority as of now, and I just strive to do my best in all my classes and try my best with all my school grades and stuff. My school, I don't really have a dream school or anything. I just try to do my best so I have a lot of options. My plans after college, well, I want to be a veterinarian, so I want to help out animals in any way I can.
My name is Naomi Quintanilla, and I go to Early College High School. Some activities I'm in are drama club, yearbook club, National Honor Society. I'm a senior mentor and student council. And I am parliamentarian for drama club and historian for National Honor Society. I'm passionate about being involved in clubs, making my school better and more fun, and my education because it plays a big role in my career. I want to attend UTRGV and study nursing to become a certified registered nurse anesthesiologist.
My name is Crystal Espinosa. I go to Early College High School and I'm a 12th grader. I'm in the Student Council Cabinet where I am the historian, the Class Senior Cabinet where I am the secretary, Drama Club Vice President. I'm in the Student Mentors Club. I am passionate about my education as well as being involved in my community and helping around my school, the entire HCISD, and my church as well. I want to attend UTRGV here in Edinburgh, and I want to get a major in education where I can later become a teacher, then following after a few years a principal.
My name is Mariana Lazaran, and I'm a senior at Early College High School. I've been dancing at Palm Valley Gymnastics and Dance for 15 years now, and I don't really have a leadership role, but I'm very dedicated. I've been doing it for 15 years, and I'm really connected with my dance mates. I would say dance because it's been a big part of my life, and it's shown me how to be more responsible, more respectful. I've learned so many things, and I feel like I can keep doing it, and I just enjoy doing it. My dream school is UT Dallas, and I plan to major in criminology. Hopefully after that, obtain my PhD, and then I hope to get a job as an FBI agent for the government.
My name is Kayla Elidimo. I'm a senior at Harlingen School of Health Professions. A few of the activities I've been involved with are HOSA and Healthy South Texas Youth Ambassadors. I'm also a secretary for Senior Class Council and vice president for NHS. I plan to go to Texas State University and study kinesiology or exercise science, and after that I plan to go to physical therapy school and hopefully soon work as a physical therapist. I am passionate about helping people recover or getting back on their feet because I enjoy knowing that I've been able to restore their confidence in being able to do things on their own.
My name is Ashley Galvan. I'm a senior at the Harlingen School of Health Professions. I am president for our school's chapter of HOSA, and it's a medically based organization that helps students seeking a career in the medical field. And I'm also involved in the South Texas Higher Education Festival, and I am executive director of that. And that festival aims to help students seek a career, pursue their future college dreams. I'm passionate about creating a better future for my family and I'm also passionate about the Hispanic community because I feel like we're seen as a minority, and I feel like we're so much more than that, and that any of us can pursue our dreams and anything we set our mind to. I really want to go to Rice or UT Austin, and I plan to study biology, and I want to become a pediatrician in the future.
My name is Jessica Bettis. I'm a senior at Harlingen School of Health Professions. I'm in several activities in the campus. I spend a lot of my hours here as much as I can. The ones I'm most passionate about are, I'm an officer for student council, so I'm really helping out the students in listening to their concerns or anything they need done in the campus. And I'm very passionate about HOSA. I'm also an officer for that club, and it's a health club related to the field of medicine that I want to go into. I am passionate about helping my community as much as I can. Growing up, I always saw my father saving lives every day, and he's a paramedic, so I would go on calls with him whenever I could, and seeing that made me realize I want to help people as much as I can, and which is why I want to be a surgeon when I grow up, and just helping as much as I can. I want to attend the University of Houston or Texas State University. I'm planning on majoring in child development or biomedical, doing the pre-med track.
My name is Nia Cerda. I attend Harlingen School of Health Professions, and I'm a senior. Some activities I partake in on campus are the Spanish Club, HOSA Club, and the Rotary Club, and I'm in the works of beginning an Eco Club. I want to attend Texas A&M at College Station to study medicine, and I also, after I graduate from college, I want to open up my own practice. I am passionate about succeeding in life. Personally, I have set high standards and goals for myself that I would love to pursue throughout my lifetime.
Wow, those incredible kids. If there are any parents or grandparents of these amazing students, would you please stand and be recognized? Parents, grandparents? We've also invited all of your principals, and they've all come out to support you tonight. So thank you, principals, for being here. This video will be available on our district's YouTube page. President of the Harlingen City Council PTA, Mr. Elias Ortega, and Vice President B. Cruz join us this evening to present the students with a certificate. Dr. Cavazos, Dr. Pettis, will you please come forward to help us hand out certificates to these students? Students, as I call your name, come up over here and receive your certificate, but stay for a group photo. For September, we have Harlingen High School students Sydney Powson, there you go. From Harlingen High School, Brittany Brandenburg. Emily Weish. Sarah Valdez. Okay, from Harlingen High School South, Sophia Piercy. Victoria Sines. Alyssa Dela Cruz. And Sydney Gill. Now, students representing Early College High School, Naomi Quintanilla. Caroline Granum. Crystal Espinoza. Mariana Olazaran. And finally, students representing Harlingen School of Health Professions, Ashley Galvan. You didn't make them wear their School of Health Professions scrubs? No scrubs tonight? Kayla Elorimo. Nia Cerda. And Renee Perez. Oh, Jessica, I'm sorry, Jessica Perez. Does the certificate say Renee? Oh, no, it says Jessica. Good, all right. So at this time, I would like to invite all of the trustees for a group photo. Parents, I'd also like to invite you up to bring your cell phones up and get a group photo of these kids as well. So students, can I get y'all to come down here? Okay, I want y'all to look at my photographer first. Right here in the center. George, you're going to do a countdown. Everyone look at George and big smiles. Let's see those teeth. Everyone look at George. 1, 2, 3. Now everyone stay there. Keep smiling. Look in the center. And parents, go ahead. Step away.
Super proud of all of y'all for being here. Proud of your accomplishments, and more importantly, your intellect and your character and your heart are come shining through in those videos. So keep up the great work. We're proud of you, and I'm so awesome. We're so proud to see all the parents and grandparents here. So, any board members have any comments? I know they're rushing out to go study.
That's right. That's right.
Are they rushing off to catch the Astros game?
Or the
Yeah, we made a
volleyball
comment about being an all-female recognition student of the month. We are very proud of you, ladies. Very job well done, and very proud of you. And we are excited that you get to represent us and become the leaders of tomorrow. So thank you, and congratulations.
And I think it's great, at least on my part, to leave it to the men to compliment the women. Isn't that super? That's great.
Awesome. All right, well, at this time, we'll move on to item 2B, recognition of TA distinction designated schools for 2018-2019. Dr. Noyola.
Thank you, Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, board members, senior team, and audience. It is my honor and pleasure to bring forward for recognition 26 of our HCISD campuses that earned distinction designations from Texas Education Agency. In all, 96 distinction designations were earned by HCISD. And I think that deserves a huge round of applause. So while there is a disagreement out there with regard to how the A through F accountability ratings are generated, there is little to no disagreement on distinction designations. Distinction designations are awarded to campuses based on achievement in performance indicators relative to a group of 40 campuses of similar type, size, and student demographics. In essence, comparing apples to apples. Distinction designations can be earned by campuses in 7 areas: academic achievement in English language arts, academic achievement in mathematics, academic achievement in science, academic achievement in social studies. And by the way, in social studies, that is only available at the secondary level. Then campuses may also earn distinction designations by being in the top 25% of academic growth, being in the top 25% of closing the gaps, and earning a post-secondary readiness distinction. So, Mr. President and Dr. Cavazos, if you could please come forward to assist us in recognizing our 26 campuses. So we begin this evening by recognizing Harlingen High School, and we have our Associate Principal, Nelda Alonso, with us. Harlingen High School received distinction designations in the areas of English language arts, mathematics, and science. Our next campus, Harlingen High School South, Principal Fernando Reyes. Harlingen High School South received distinction designations in English language arts, science, social studies, and post-secondary readiness. Early College High School, Principal Dr. Pam Flores. Early College High School received distinction designations in English language arts, top 25% academic growth, top 25% closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness. Dr. Abraham P. Cano Freshman Academy, Interim Principal Imelda Trevino. Cano Academy received distinction designations in English language arts, mathematics, science, top 25% academic growth, top 25% closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness. Our next campus received all 7 distinction designations awarded by the Texas Education Agency, Harlingen School of Health Professions, Principal Tina Garza. Distinction designations in English language arts, mathematics, science, social studies, top 25% academic growth, top 25% closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness.
We don't play favorites.
All right, here we go. Moving on to our middle school campuses. We begin with Coakley Middle School, Principal Pedro Sanchez. Coakley Middle School received distinction designations in the areas of academic achievement and social studies and post-secondary readiness indicator. Gutierrez Middle School, Principal Mike Reyes. Gutierrez received distinction designations in the areas of English language arts, mathematics, top 25% academic growth, and top 25% closing the gaps. Memorial Middle School, Principal Bill Snavely. Memorial Middle School received distinction designation in the area of academic achievement in social studies. Vela Middle School, Assistant Principal Vanessa Acosta. Vela achieved distinction designations in the areas of science and social studies, top 25% closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness. Vernon Middle School, Principal Arlita Mez. Vernon received distinction designations in the areas of English language arts, science, social studies, and post-secondary readiness. Move on to our elementary campuses, beginning with Austin Elementary, Principal Magda Gonzalez. Austin received distinction designations in the areas of English language arts, mathematics, and post-secondary readiness. Bonham Elementary, Principal Minnie Ramirez. Bonham received distinction designations in the areas of English language arts and science. Bowie Elementary, Principal Jamie Galan. Bowie received distinction designations in the areas of English language arts, mathematics, science, top 25% closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness. Crockett Elementary, Assistant Principal Annette Arredondo. Crockett received distinction designations in the areas of English language arts, closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness. Just don't block me. Make sure I can see. Our next campus is Dishman Elementary, Principal Irma Davis. Dishman received distinction designations in the areas of English language arts, mathematics, science, closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness. No, you're good. I just need to. Sam Houston Elementary, Principal Ginger Armstrong. Sam Houston Elementary received distinction designations in the areas of English language arts, mathematics, top 25% closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness. Jefferson Elementary, Principal Alejandra Lara. Jefferson received distinction designations in the areas of mathematics, science, and post-secondary readiness. Our next campus is Long Elementary, Principal Bobby Joe Hushin. Long received distinction designations in the areas of mathematics, science, and post-secondary readiness. Our next campus is Lee Means Elementary, Principal Mindy Sanchez. Means received distinction designations in the areas of English language arts, mathematics, top 25% closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness. Next, we recognize Milam Elementary, Principal Brenda McKinney. Milam received distinction designations in the areas of mathematics, science, top 25% academic growth, top 25% closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness. Our next campus received all 6 of the distinction designations available at the elementary level. That is Rodriguez Elementary, Principal Adriana Arellano. Rodriguez received distinction designations in the areas of English language arts, mathematics, science, top 25% academic growth, top 25% closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness.
fans in the back. Hold on. Got some fans. Hold on. Yay.
Thank you. Next, we recognize Stewart Place Elementary Interim Principal Don Burbach. Stewart Place received distinction designations in the areas of mathematics, top 25% closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness. We move on to Travis Elementary, Principal Beulah Rangel. Travis received distinction designation in the area of academic achievement in English language arts. Treasure Hills Elementary, Principal Roland Ingram. Treasure Hills received distinction designation in the areas of academic achievement in English language arts and post-secondary readiness. Wilson Elementary, Principal Michelle Todd. Wilson received distinction designations in the areas of English language arts, top 25% closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness. Last but never least, Zavala Elementary, Principal Tanya Garza. Zavala received distinction designations in the areas of English language arts, science, top 25% closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness. Board members, if you could join us up front for a group picture, and let's give all of our campuses a huge round of applause for their accomplishments.
Hold on just a second. I have a request. You'll do a video now? All righty. Yay! Woo! Don't leave, don't leave. Don't leave yet. Yeah, they comments, get comments, get comments. We got comments. Don't leave yet, don't leave yet. Don't leave until the comments.
Sanchez, Commissioner Juarez, real quick. Add me in 7.
No. Thank you, George. Okay.
Good to see you. God bless you. Good to see you. Wonderful. We're so happy for you.
That's right.
Wow. Super, super proud. Did I hear that right, Doc? All campuses?
26 campuses.
All campuses? That was amazing. Distinction, okay.
26.
Anybody, a board member, have any comments? For those principals still around, they're also. Jerry Fleury, please.
Yes. I was just saying to Dr. Pettis, I wonder how many other districts have an experience like we just had, and I think the number is 0. You all did a wonderful. We're so super proud of you. So super proud.
Do that again, Ms. Fleury.
And I want to say one thing, and you all probably are an audience that knows this, but perhaps those of us who have people who are watching on television may not. And I think this is hugely significant for us to celebrate. And the reason is because of what we just saw. And that is that when we were at the award event that was wonderful for this district, I was in an information session that talked about the fact that there's only one region in the state of Texas that had 100%, right, Art? 100%.
A's and B's.
Yeah, of its school districts that were A's and B's, the highest in the state. And you know where it is? It's here. And so no matter what you hear on the news about the Rio Grande Valley and Region 1, and no matter what disparaging remarks anyone might make, let's all remember to celebrate where we live, because we are leading the state of Texas in regard to all of the school districts who are excelling to some degree. And number 2 was not even close. It was like at 80% of its school districts. And yes, we understand how the ranking is done and the numbers are run. We understand that growth in performance counts, and perhaps we have more growth than others. But isn't that something to celebrate as well? That's right. So let's hear it for Region 1, and it's because of what we just saw here. A district like Harlingen that has worked so hard, and you all have done it. You have pulled it off. So congratulations. I want to congratulate you.
Any other board members' comments? No? If not, yeah, you can't top that. But
I can't top that.
Well, and it's really a huge part of why this, and I'm recalling it the Team of 8 of the Year award. It's really not this board, but it's the Team of 8, and it's really a reflection of the systemic transformation happening at each and every campus in this district. So we're super proud of the work that's going on, the culture that you all are creating in each campus to have authentic and just vibrant learning atmospheres and to inspire all kids. And that's what we're doing in this district, because we believe in creating equity and opportunities for all students, and we love that. And we do it in athletics and arts and, of course, academics, and we're just so proud of everything that's going on in this district. And thanks to y'all's leadership, and thanks to making sure it reaches to every classroom, to every student. So we love you guys. You're amazing. Keep up the great work. We're really proud of what you're doing. Yeah.
Great job, guys.
Dr. Cavazos, do you want to say a few words?
Just a quick comment. I want to echo what the board just mentioned. At the end of the day, it's the heavy lifting is done at the campuses. It has to have strong leadership, and so I want to congratulate everyone who's here and all the principals. Make it a great week. You all are doing an amazing job. Give it up to the entire group here. So.
Awesome. Well, with that, we'll jump into.
They're going to stay to the whole board meeting. But
yes.
No, just kidding. Just kidding. The camera's now pointed at us. Oh, they're staying for Mike Reyes. Oh, you're leaving too.
At this time, we'll ask for approval of minutes. Item 3A, September 10th, 2019, regular board meeting minutes. Board, do I hear a motion?
Second.
Motion by Mr. De Leon, second by Mr. Jaimes. Any discussion or questions or changes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Item 3B, approval of the October 1st, 2019 Team of 8 workshop minutes. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the minutes for the Team of 8 workshop on October 1st, 2019.
Motion by Mr. Jaimes.
Second.
I'm sorry, second by Dr. Reininger. Any discussion, changes, questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. At this time, we will now consider the consent calendar. Unless any board member wants to pull an item for separate consideration, do I hear a motion?
I move approval of the consent calendar.
Motion by Dr. Reiniger, second by Mr. De Leon. Any further discussion or change or request for pulling an item out? If not, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. At this time, much anticipated, I know the board members have many, many questions for our next presenter. Principal Mike Reyes, Gutierrez Middle School, who's been in the news recently a lot. I'm not sure why, but we're going to hear about it in a minute. So, sir, it is all yours. Take it away.
Thank you, sir. Leave this. Good evening, Board President, board members, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and members of the audience. Well, audience that was here. Thank you.
There you go.
A lot of love. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you about our Project Lead the Way courses being offered at Gutierrez Middle School. In 2014, we started our journey with STEM education at our middle school by offering robotics as an after-school activity. Immediately, we witnessed a high interest and excitement from our students. While students took part in robotics practice sessions, we could see the students were highly engaged and extremely motivated while collaborating with their peers. Students were critically thinking and exploring endless possibilities on how to customize a robot to accomplish their goal. Our students were laser focused on accomplishing their task as a team. As district, we quickly realized what an opportunity this would be for all students. When we speak of STEM, it's not just about coding and lab coats. It's the foundation of manufacturing, food production, healthcare, and so much more that we might take for granted, but surely we can't live without. At Gutierrez Middle School, we currently offer 3 Project Lead the Way courses: App Creators, Computer Science, Robotics, and Automation. These courses allow for inquiry, reasoning, and collaboration required in STEM learning classrooms. These courses demand rigor and relevance in a curriculum, and students who take these classes must learn to think critically as they use science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to analyze and solve real-world problems through direct learning experiences. Project Lead the Way courses have allowed for hands-on learning experiences, which gives students a better understanding on career choices in the engineering and technical fields. We currently are in our 3rd year offering App Creators. This unit exposes students to computer science, but computationally analyzing and developing solutions to authentic problem through mobile app development, and will convey the positive impact of the application of computer science to other disciplines and to society. Students customize their experience by analyzing the root cause of the problem and selecting something that interests them from areas of health, environment, emergency preparedness, education, community service, and school culture. Because problems in the real world involve more than one discipline, the unit will introduce students to biomedical science concepts as they work on solutions for the specific problems they choose to tackle. Last year, we added our 2nd Project Lead the Way course, Computer Science. This unit allows students to discover computer science concepts and skills by creating personally relevant, tangible, and shareable projects. Throughout the unit, students learn about programming for physical world by blending hardware design, interactive art installation, and plan and development code for microcontrollers that bring their physical designs to life. Physical computing projects will promote student awareness of interactive systems and broaden their understanding of abstract computer science concepts through meaningful and authentic applications. This year, we've added robotics and automation. Students trace the history, development, and influence of automation and robotics as they learn about mechanical systems, energy transfer, machine automation, and computer control systems. Students use the VEX robotics platform to design, build, and program real-world objects such as traffic lights, toll booths, and robotic arms. We have enjoyed seeing our students' enthusiasm and growing confidence and have been impressed on the tasks they are able to accomplish. Project Lead the Way has allowed students to see the correlation on future educational and career opportunities. In addition, this early exposure to STEM courses in the middle school allowed them to have a better understanding of pre-engineering and informational technology academies our high schools have to offer. At this time, we have 3 students, actually 2, one didn't show, Hadley Keith and 7 Omic, Jake could not make it, who have a short demonstration for you. Girls? Back to girl power again. Here we go.
Got
Girls have
girl.
to show the boys. Here you go.
In App Creators last year, my class learned about block coding. This means we use blocks to create an app to do what we wanted it to do, such as the Build a Body app and Germ Fighter. At the end of the year, we got to create our own app with a partner.
At the end of the semester, my class got to use drones. We would fly the drones by using block coding on the Tinker app. It applies to what we learned in class because it is the same coding, but just with a different purpose.
I like that we can use block coding for multiple purposes in the real world. We can apply this to programming educational apps, apps for medical field purposes, and fun things like a movie app for ordering tickets online.
Here's a demonstration for the drone.
Be careful with the board president over here.
Thank you, girls.
Thank you. That's awesome.
I would like to take a moment to share a short video that we have also prepared for you.
Project Lead the Way is a program that reinforces different aspects of STEM. So there are some classes that reinforce computer science like coding, there's robotics classes, there's the Maker Bits classes where they're focusing on kind of like the electrical mechanical work of it all. So they're just little programs, really awesome little programs that really introduce students to STEM.
Project Lead the Way, we have automation and robotics. It's basically a course where students learn about some of the devices that are automated and some of the robotic functions out there in the real world.
We look up information of like different types of engineers and different types of technology, and we build simple projects of robots, or we do presentations on robots or stuff. I plan on being a radiologist, so I plan on the stuff I learn here to go when I'm older.
So this class is Computer Science for Innovators and Makers. We have the students work in partners. We have a navigator and a driver. The navigator tells the driver what to do on the computer. They can't do anything unless the navigator tells them to. So they have to learn how to listen and to communicate. Those are skills that they're learning when they're doing that. And they're programming using the code blocks.
And we're learning how to program microbits to do certain things. So we're learning how to do animations, doing scroll messages, and play games, play music, and a lot of other stuff. I do see myself using these skills because we could use them to debug computers if they get bugs. We can help people with technology, and we can also program other stuff to our advantage.
So I teach app creators, which is where students learn how to essentially create apps. They learn about block coding, they learn the ins and outs of an app, how to design it, and how to code it.
And it helps us to learn how to code the app. It teaches you how to make the app. You can learn how to program the app. So we've been doing a health app where it'll just teach you different diseases and stuff with waterborne diseases. And we've been coding it. It teaches us how to play it and learn how to use that.
Maybe as a hobby, I could probably start, create apps and have fun with that. As a job, maybe just with the computer, maybe it most likely help me understand the computer more. And with college, probably, I need to use a computer as well. That also helped me understand it more.
I would recommend students to take this class because it helps you. Maybe if you're not so good at technology, it'll teach you how to use it a little more. It'll help you when you get older. If you have to start taking tests on computers in college, you already know how to use a computer. It'll just help you as you grow older.
I think these classes are a really great opportunity to just expose the students to it, because the next time they're going to see this is either in high school, if they somehow end up in that elective, or maybe in college if they have to take a computer science class. So I think it's important that students are exposed to it, because a lot of them realize, hey, I like this is something I could do, and this is something I can pursue once I'm in college or whatever it might be.
At this time, we stand poised to write the next chapter of our journey by becoming a Discovery Education campus. No longer will STEM courses be taught in isolation, but instead be integrated into core area classes. As we prepare to launch this initiative, teachers will begin professional development to embrace a STEM culture on our campus. Furthermore, as announced yesterday, we are excited for the privilege of having been selected as a district school of arts and sciences. This will allow us to expand the work begun by Lee Means Fine Arts Academy and STEM Squared Academy. This transformation will allow our students various opportunities to engage in a variety of experiences to further increase their interest in the arts and sciences. At this time, I would like to recognize and introduce our Project Lead the Way teachers who have been instrumental in cultivating the STEM culture at GMS. When I call your name, please stand. Ms. Alejandra Cavazos is our App Creators teacher. Ms. Emery Sanchez is our Computer Science teacher. And Mr. Arnold Juarez is our Robotics Automation teacher. And of course, you met our two students, Seven Omic, and we have Hadley Keith with us. Thank you, ladies, and their parents. I would be remiss if I didn't mention their parents, so thank you to their parents. Board members, Dr. Cavazos, again, thank you for the ongoing support for our STEM courses offered at Gutierrez Middle School. In addition, words cannot express a sincere gratitude on being selected the Gutierrez Middle School of Arts and Sciences. We are very excited about what the future holds for these students and our community. We also have a small gift of appreciation for the board, being the best board in Texas. Congratulations, board members. So I think our students are going to pass out just something small. And
Is it the drone?
Not the drone. Not the drone. But we had gotten these gifts together a few days ago, and I was telling my secretary, I said, but the name's going to change. It's now going to be Arts and Science. So actually, these are collector's items.
There you go. Collector's items.
So at this time, they're going to pass this.
That's awesome.
There is a candy bar in there of $100,000, and you are much more than that. You guys are invaluable. So thank you for all that you do for us.
Mr. Powers, and they'll get them if they leave them here.
Yeah. Put them on there. Put them on there. There's two more right here. Yeah, just put them on there.
Dr. Muniz also. Yeah.
They'll get them.
No? Okay.
Right here.
We're one short. We'll get it to them. We're one short. We'll get it.
Thank you so much.
So at this time, we're happy to answer any questions. Either I or our teachers or students, any one of us can answer for y'all.
Well, I'm sure there's some comments and some questions. Go ahead. Anybody want to go first? Dr. Reiniger?
Well, this is just such an exciting adventure, right? And what you've done, you, your team, your students engaging in the sciences, and embracing this, leading the way for the district, and now adding in the arts. What a great combination. I mean, we know that minds, young minds can love both, can be passionate about both, bringing these together. It's just no telling what will really happen. And so I just want to commend your leadership, your whole team, on this new journey. I'm so
excited.
impressed, so excited for you. Thank you so much.
Mr. De Leon, please.
I'd like to ask a couple of students a question. If you want to come up to the podium? Yeah. What was your favorite thing as you're learning on this? What do you take out of this, and what have you learned, and what's the impact that you've experienced?
I like that it can help you with real life like encounters, and it's a lot of fun and it's easy to do.
Good.
I like that you can, such as like make new apps and app creators, and just have fun with your friends. And
well, it's individuals like both of y'all that are going to revolutionize the technology of the future. So keep up the great work, keep learning, because we're going to depend on you and we're counting on you.
Awesome.
Mike, it's just 5 years, right?
It wasn't long ago.
Just 5 years since you were the very first school to bring robotics to us, and you taught us about robotics. And then the district jumped on board. So kudos to you for that. It's just, it's astonishing to me when I think about how amazingly innovative your campus has become. You are in no way representative of a typical middle school campus around this country. You know, you're just always embracing and going into the unknown, and then bringing it back and making it manageable, doable, and replicable. And you know, it's so exciting to see what's happening here. I had no idea that you had, even all the times I visited, I had no idea that you had grown into what you have become. And it is remarkable. It is really, truly remarkable. What a story you have to tell. What a book you have to write. So I am absolutely delighted. You know, and the project Lead the Way. You know, I remember visiting and learning about that at Harlingen High School, when it was the only place in Harlingen other than TSTC where we had computers that were actually creating things, and that was quite a while ago. And to see that it's now on the middle school level and that you're using it in this myriad of ways is really just, I mean, it is really remarkable. So I'm excited for you all. We cannot wait to see. And, you know, what we have learned from robotics is whither thou goest, we shall come. You know, you lead the way, and you're going to change and transform this entire district again. So thank you. Please tell your faculty how proud we are.
Sure will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, please, Mr. Hymas, please.
Mike, you know, thank you for your leadership at your campus and in this school district, and to your teachers and your staff, as Dr. Cavazos said earlier, doing the heavy lifting when it comes to all this, when it comes to academics. Because like Ms. Fleury said, you know, you're leading the way, not just for your campus, but for the school districts. And the ones that are going to benefit are these two young ladies and their classmates. And they're going to take it on to high school, and they're going to take it on to college, and they'll be students of the month one of these years. I don't know if you guys are in 7th, 8th, or 6th grade. So, you know, they'll be up here, and then they'll be out there doing big things. Now, my next comments for the two students. So this weekend I was talking to some friends, and I took a picture, and my shirt was wrinkled. And I said, if there was only a nap that would iron my shirt after the photo. So work on that, and then get with me.
There you go. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but congratulations to all of you guys.
I think there is. Yeah.
There's got to be. I'm sure there's got to be.
They have a drone, though.
Can we take a picture with them?
Sure. Yeah, let's get a picture. Yeah,
Well,
let's do it.
Did you?
Well, just a quick comment. I just want to say I can't wait to see what your students do in the future. But if you can, you know, now you'll be probably getting, you know, some students really interested in the arts as well.
Correct.
And you know, let's say some of them are coming from Lee Means, for example, or other elementary schools that have experience and interest in the arts, and now they're exposed to your science, to your campus with all the sciences and the focus on authentic learning experiences and robotics and computing and coding and this and that, whatever. And now they get that, I mean, that balance of right brain, left brain, that kind of stuff, and then of course further their love for the arts, and you know, for inquiry, and for just, you know, I mean, it's really, your campus is really sort of a microcosm of that holistic learning that we talk about all the time. Right. And it really is sort of the epicenter for that holistic learning that we always talk about. I can't wait to see, you know, 15, 20 years from now what some of those students are doing.
Right.
Because it's all starting right here, right now with your campus. So thank you for everything you're doing. For, like everybody said here, it's clear to me that Dr. Cavazos and this district rely on you to sort of responsibly roll out big initiatives, and you do it so well, and then turn a moment into a movement, as Dr. Cavazos says a lot. But keep up the great work, and we're so proud of you and the students, and
having a great team. Having a great team.
So I do want to highlight a couple of points with Mr. Reyes. You know, when he brought robotics to the district, it was a moment in time, right? And so here we are at this point. But I will tell you that, you know, when we took all his campus and his staff to see Frozen Junior, and then we announced that there would be the Arts and Sciences Middle School, the kids were jumping out of their chairs, super excited, and there were a few kids crying at the thought that this was becoming a reality. Some of the Means kids that were performing at the Fine Arts Academy, they came up to him and said, "You're my new principal. I'm coming to you next." And, so the whole idea here is creating this moment in time. There's some design that needs to be done, some work behind that, but at the end of the day, it's what is possible. And so thank you, Mr. Reyes, for your leadership, and thank you to the staff that's back there, and of course the students and the parents for supporting the ongoing transformation of Gutierrez Middle School. So great job.
Thank you.
Let's take a picture, students, please. Mr. Reyes, take a picture. Come on.
Let's get over here. Let's stand on the lower platform. Oh yeah, why don't you hold the drone? That's awesome. That's a good idea.
While you're sprinting in the morning.
Thank you for the gifts.
Thank you for the gifts. Yes, thank you so much.
They're collector's items, right, Mike? They're collector's items.
Not the candies.
Not the candy.
This is Sonia Brown. Any comments for agenda topics? No comments for agenda topics. Thank you very much. Anybody sign up for public audience for non-agenda topics? Thank you very much. And at this time, we'll move into item 8A, statewide student assessments and preliminary 2019 accountability ratings. Mrs. Dalia Garcia.
I know. Kind of saw it with all the principals.
Please bring up her first slide presentation.
One of one.
If you're going to talk about data and statistics, please speak slowly.
Slightly. Those girls had me at coding, girl power. Good evening, Mr. President, Dr. Vasos, members of the board, senior team, and audience members. Presented for you today is 2019 STAR test results along with our state accountability ratings. Much of the information presented in this report has been provided to you previously over the spring and the summer as STAR unfolded and the accountability system unfolded. So our district goal 3 is really grounded on using data to guide our work with measuring students' weaknesses and strengths in order to assess their needs. And as we look at the state assessment program, there's several state assessment pieces guided by the state. We have our STAR performance in grades 3 through 8 and our end of course for graduation requirements. We also have STAR online testing with some embedded supports that many of our students utilize. STAR Alternate 2 for students who qualify for special education, and of course we have a STAR Spanish for those who qualify for that assessment. So as we moved forward under the accountability system, the state provided ratings for districts and campuses back in 2018. And this is just a simplistic way to classify districts and campuses and their performance on the state assessment and other metrics on student performance. So you see the labels there, quite simple, A, B, C, D, and F. But we all know that those simple letters have big meaning behind it and a lot of moving parts. So as we look at the progression of our House Bill 22 system, It's been in play for about 2 years. You'll see in 2018, the district received its first domain and overall letter rating, while our campuses received, at that time during the transition, our campuses in 2018 received a MET standard or MET alternative standard. And in 2018, our district overall performance was an 87.4. It was a B. And our campuses, we had all 28 campuses meeting the standard or meeting the alternative standard. Now in 2019, same holds true for the districts, but now our campuses received their first letter rating under the accountability system. So as we look at the framework that surrounds this letter grade, we see that the framework has 3 main domains. We have our student achievement domain, that's referred to as domain 1, our school progress domain 2, and our closing the gaps domain 3. And so as you look at these 3 domains, you'll see at the very top that 70% lies in the betterment of student achievement or your school progress, while 30% weighs on closing the gaps. And we'll go a little further into detail into what each of those domains consist of. In order to align a lot of the measures that took place over the year with STAR and CCMR and a few other measures, the state did make some adjustments to some of the raw and component scores and converted them into scale scores, into letter grades that you see up on the screen that makes sense to the community and makes sense to districts. A huge component of the accountability system is about STAR. And then, of course, we have some other measures on CCMR and graduation rates that are embedded. But a huge piece is relative to our STAR performance. And you see here high-level observations of our performance with the district, region, and state comparisons. And so when you look at this, this is a performance of all our students in the spring for 2019. STAR paper, those that took it online, English and Spanish. And this is just a culmination of overview of how our students performed. The state, under STAR, evaluates students under 3 performance levels. This particular performance level, and you'll see denoted at the very top, is under the approaches performance level. The second level is under the meets performance, and then we have the master's performance, which we'll take a glimpse at. But if you see the chart there, we left 2018 data there, so you'll see it in that gray shading bar, so that you can see the increase from the prior year. HCISD 2019 is denoted in that dark blue bar. We also have the state there as a barometer, so we can pace ourselves and see how we're performing against the students across the state. That's denoted in that orange line graph. And then the Region 1 area, which consists of about 43 districts in the Region 1 area, is denoted with the yellow line bar. So as you look at the performance of our STAR students from 3rd grade through 8th, as well as our 5 end of course, you'll see them there laid out. In that very first quadrant, you see our reading performance, math on the far right. Down below, you see social studies, science, and writing. And so something that you'll see in the next 2 slides is that you see trends here. You see the trends with the state and the region and of course our performance. And so it's very interesting to see the trends lines as we move forward in looking at each of the grade levels and the subject areas across the 3 performance levels. So just high-level observations looking at this chart. There are 22 indicators. When you look at all the metrics for each of these grade levels and each of these subject areas, there's 22 indicators in total. 21 of 22 indicators were at or above the state or region. So that's great celebrations there. 16 of 22 were at or above the state performance. 15 of 22 were at or above the region. And 10 out of 22 were at or above the state and region. So a lot to celebrate, and you'll see again a lot of the trends there and the increase from 2018 to 2019. Some of the strengths noted on the slides, just at a glance, there's a lot of strengths there. A few of them, 5th grade reading, we're at 81% during the first administration. Our 5th and our 8th graders have 2 opportunities to take it. In fact, they have 3, but the first 2 count towards accountability. and our students in 5th grade reading at 81%. That was during the first administration. And so the second administration, which was just a few weeks later, they even excelled even more. English 1, I know that was an area that we've been a focus. We did make some great gains there in English 1. 5th grade math as well with an 88. Our algebra performance, you're going to see come up again as we move over the performance levels. And our U.S. history there at 94%. Moving on to the next slide, similar graphs, similar information, but this time we're looking at the performance of our students at the MEETS level. And the MEETS level really denotes students that have a strong foundation in the curriculum and are ready to move on to the next grade level without remediation. And so we're looking at that academic success level of rigor at the MEETS. So we have your approaches, your MEETS, and your masters. This particular slide, again, looking at the MEETS, you see very similar trend lines there across the state and the region against our district. Out of the 22 indicators, we had 13 of these indicators at or above the state or the region, 11 of 22 at or above the state. Again, 11 out of 22 at or above the region, and we had 6 out of the 22 indicators at or above the state and the region. And so as you look at some of these performance metrics, you do see, again, some strong performance in 5th grade math, in U.S. history, in English 1, algebra, and biology. And so when we look at these MEETS performance levels, they are on a scale from 0 to 100, just like the approaches and the masters is. So when you see the algebra performance, for example, at 76%, so 76% of our students were at the MEETS performance level, is really impactful. That is great celebrations there. And of course, the majority of our students that take algebra are at our Gano Academy. We also have embedded in this algebra component 8th grade students that are taking that extra level of rigor at the middle schools taking the algebra test. So you'll see there a slight observation there for the 8th grade math. So if you look at 8th grade math, you do see there that our bar charts, our performance level is slightly below the state and the region. And so in looking at these measures and looking at the performance of our algebra kids, it's important to know that, again, a lot of our 8th graders that take algebra in the 8th grade are counted into the algebra end of course assessment. We have almost about 40% of our 8th grade students taking algebra. And so they're taking that extra level of rigor course at the middle schools levels. And so that kind of accounts for some of the nominal dips there for 8th grade math. And our next slide is that master's performance levels. This is achieving that upper level, high-end master's level on the STAR assessment. And so when you look at the master's performance levels, students have a strong foundation in the curriculum and are ready to move on to the next grade level and are post-secondary ready. And so again, you see a lot of the visuals with the similar trend lines with the state and the region. Again, you see that that performance there with the 8th grade math and the algebra performance. But again, with the 22 indicators in the master's performance, we did have 14 of 22 of the indicators at or above the state or the region, 6 of 22 indicators at or above the state, 11 out of 22 indicators at or above the region, and 3 of the 22 indicators at or above the state and the region. And so a few strong performances there include, again, surfacing as 5th grade. So 5th grade did exceptionally well, 3rd and 5th grade, and our algebra performance. You do see some increases there from the prior year, from 2018 to 2019. But it's important to know that when we look at the 3 different performance levels, we did have a celebration, and we have many celebrations, one of which was that all of our elementary grade levels in each of the subject areas exceeded the state once again. And I believe we did that last year. And so well done for the elementaries. They were at or above the state in every grade level and every subject. Our middle schools increased substantially with their STAR performance. And then our high schools with our end of course exams did exceptionally well as again, and they did increase in all 3 performance levels. So as we look at STAR, that students take STAR, there's also students that are English language proficient, and they do take the state assessment called TELPAS. That usually happens around March, February, end of February, early March. And there is a time period for these students to take the assessment. The TELPAS is really a test designed to assess the students' limited English proficiency in the progress they make in learning the English language. And so this is a real high-level overview chart, and it shows you the performance level. So if you see the chart there, you have at the bottom axis, you have first year, second year, third year, 4-year, and 5 or more years. This represents the number of years that students are coming into the state, taking the TELPAS, the first year in U.S. schools, the second year in U.S. schools, and so forth. This measures the composite rating for the district. And so what I mean by composite rating, the TELPAS has 4 different domains. They test English language learners on listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And those 4 assessments, those 4 domains, encompass an overall composite score. And so what this chart is telling us is essentially that students, their first year in U.S. schools, they take the TELPAS assessment. It shows that 17% of our students in that first year are scoring at the beginning level on the assessment, and 39% of them are scoring at the intermediate, 31 at the advanced, and 14 at the advanced high. So you have 4 different performance levels there: beginning, intermediate, advanced, and then advanced high. And typically, students coming into the first year, we would anticipate students scoring more or less in the beginning and intermediate levels being their first year in U.S. schools. We would hope that being the second year in U.S. schools, the students start gravitating towards the intermediate and the advanced performance level. And you see that in the second year. You see that 44% are in the intermediate performance level and then 37% at the advanced. So as you move forward in U.S. schools, you'll see the advanced rating going up year over year.
Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Dillon.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's a sequence where they're all coming in from second grade or third grade. It can be a combination of some coming in second grade, 5th grade, 10th grade.
Exactly.
Is that correct?
Yes. And they classify students coming in at any point in their education career. Like you said, if they're coming in 3rd grade, that's first year in U.S. schools, or it could be a 10th grader first year in U.S. schools.
May I ask one other question?
Please, Doc.
At the 5 or more years, at some point, do the children not need to take this because they've been in and then they kind of go into regular, not needing these tests, and they do the other STAR tests?
So these students that take TELPAS also take STAR. Students can be exited from taking the TELPAS if they score advanced high and pass the STAR
they'll all
reading.
get out, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the last.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Mhm.
Thank you.
And so as we move forward to another state assessment, we have our STAR Alternate 2 assessment. And this test was designed for students in grades 3 through 8, as well as our end of course high school students who have significant cognitive disabilities and are receiving special education services. So these are primarily our students that are in the life skills setting, right, with those severe cognitive disabilities that do need a lot of assistance there. So students must take the grades 3 through 8, whatever is applicable in their grade level, in each of these content areas, just as they do the STAR performance, as well as our high school students taking the end of course assessment under STAR Alternate 2. And so on the far right, you see some performance levels, because it does have a different range compared to our approaches, meets, and masters level. So you'll see the performance levels there. Satisfactory is considered a level 2. Satisfactory is that they passed the test and they met the requirements for the exam. You can consider that more like a meets performance. The accomplished at a level 3, you can equate that to a master's level under STAR, and then your developing there is more of your approaches level. And so looking at the chart there, I want you to pay focus to the first 2 columns. So for instance, in 3rd grade reading, you'll see there that 97% of our students scored at satisfactory, 35 at accomplished, and 3 at developing. And so those first 2 columns are pretty critical because that displays the performance of our students under the satisfactory and accomplished level. And so a lot of great things occurring under STAR Alternate 2. Our students under this setting and under this instructional efforts are making great gains, and you see that under the end of course algebra when they get to high school. So a lot of great success there, educating our students under the STAR Alternate 2 assessment. So when you look at STAR and all the assessments, STAR, TELPAS, Alternate 2, and we look at how those are embedded in the accountability system, we go back to the 3 domains. This first domain of student achievement, again, evaluates the performance of all the students that we saw on the charts across all subject areas and across all 3 performance levels. It also looks at college, career, military readiness and graduation rates. So as we take a high-level view of our achievement under Domain 1, our district scored an 85, which was a B. Prior year, last year, we scored an 80. So 5 gain points there from the prior year, a lot of great success. It does take quite a bit of movement and quite a bit of performance levels moving up in order to attain even those 5 points. So 85 overall, and you see the performance there. Elementary, middle, and Dr. Cano Academy are weighted under just the STAR performance under those 3 levels. And then your high schools, of course, have that CCMR and graduation rate embedded. Overall, great gains compared to last year under the student achievement Domain 1. So as we look at Domain 2 encompasses our school progress, and there's really 2 areas under school progress. You see the school progress are denoted. It says better of Part A, academic growth, or Part B, relative performance. So amongst the domain system, it does look at an overarching goal of progress. And so in looking at this, it looks at a number of students that grew at least 1 year academically from 1 year to the next on STAR. And then it also looks at the achievement of our students relative to districts and campuses with similar economically disadvantaged percentages. So across the state, it looks at how we compare as a district, more importantly as a campus, compared to other campuses with similar demographics under economically disadvantaged. And under Domain 2, we did score an overall performance of a 91. So a lot of great success there as well. And one of our last domains is closing the gaps domain. This one really looks at disaggregating all the data that we saw under STAR, all the data under CCMR, and our graduation rate, among other factors. What's important about closing the gaps is that it is federally bound, and it is in compliance with the Every Student Succeeds Act under ESSA. So under closing the gaps, there's a lot of federal targets that must be met. So it not only incorporates state data, but also our federal targets that we must meet under ESSA. So as you look at closing the gaps, Domain 3, ensuring educational equity, there's some charts there just for visuals on what the percentage is, because there's a lot of moving parts under closing the gaps. It probably has over about 60 different metrics that campuses are rated against. Even more than 60, there's depending on if there's minimum size met under certain criterias. But closing the gaps ultimately looks at the 14 different student groups. It looks at the 7 different race and ethnicities and their scores on the STAR performance. Again, the CCMR, it looks at their growth. It looks at TELPAS is embedded in here, as well as STAR Alternate 2. So a lot of moving parts under closing the gaps. But ultimately, it's a simple formula. As you see there, it says total number of indicators met over a total number of indicators eligible. Because there's so many metrics tied behind Domain 3, overall it encompasses a lot of different performances for each of the elementary, middle, and the high schools. Our overall grade was a 94. So great improvement from the prior year. Prior year we were a B. I believe we were an 86 last year. So a lot of great gains there from an 86 to a 94.
Please, Mr. Leo.
Dad, I have a question. On Domain 1, you said last year it was an 85 and the prior year it was an 80. And this year it was a 94 and last. which is amazing. It's great gains. Have we identified how we achieve that so that we can continue it for the following years? Did we identify the success and the out?
Yes, as I mentioned, there was a lot of indicators on that closing the gaps, and so yes, Mr. Villarreal and Ms. Romero and Noyola, we looked at all the data. We had some data discussions for each elementary campus, every middle school and every high school, and then they did a data dive and looked at what caused the movement, right? What caused the increases in those areas, but yes.
So we laser focused on that so that we can continue at the fall, this upcoming year.
Correct,
Oh, okay.
correct. And you see a lot of the data and some of the framework embedded in our Realizing Our Dream. Now that we have updated our Realizing Our Dream to 2.1, which you'll hear about soon.
How soon? No.
Pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
Is this report?
And so ultimately, you take all those metrics across star performance, your alternate 2, your TELPAS, all your domains, and we put it on this report card just to kind of keep all the numbers in play. It looks at raw scores, component scores, but ultimately converts that score to a numerical grade and then a letter grade. And so when you see the chart there, you see a lot of data on the left because we wanted to identify all the metrics for each of those components: STAR, CCMR, graduation rate, relative performance, our grad rate, all those indicators, and ultimately our overall score when you run the algorithms and the numbers, we were at a 92. And so I know we've celebrated our 92 performance. We do see a little asterisk there with a footer saying ultimately we were restricted to an 89, a B, because we did have a campus in our overall rating that had a rating of a D. And so unfortunately that 92 did become an 89 for our overall rating. So in looking at our 2019 overall accountability ratings, you do see our campuses on this next chart there, our overall rating for each of the domains you'll see there denoted. Along on the right side, you see the performance that we just celebrated earlier on the distinctions and the number of distinctions per campus. So overall, we had about 22 of 27, and you see it there denoted in that highlighted yellow. 22 of 27 campuses earned a post-secondary readiness distinction designation, and that's truly impactful because what that 22 represents, it really shows that a lot of the efforts, a lot of the instructional rigor is occurring, that we had more than we have in the past on this particular element. Ultimately, a culmination of the district earning a post-secondary readiness distinction. And so you'll see that big star there. We were one of about 71 districts in the state to achieve this honor of being a post-secondary readiness distinction district. So one of 71 across the state. When you look at, well, how many districts there are across the state, there was 1,201 districts statewide, and we were one of 71 to earn this attainment. So that says a lot about the efforts of all the campuses, right, to then produce a distinction as such for our district.
You know what impresses me about this is, and not even looking at the rating and looking at the grade, but we're thinking outside of the box. We're looking outside of the box. We're not being conservative. We could be conservative and be working towards just passing the exam, but we're being creative. We're doing all these innovative things, and we still get these numbers. That's impressive. All the hard work we talk about a game plan, talk about very, very structured in what we're doing and how we're setting up. That's fantastic.
Dolly? Please.
As a reflection to what Mr. De Leon just said, I see it as because we had the courage as a district to step out and try these things, we are igniting and creating different things going on in our children's minds. And it's, it's probably the reason why we are more successful. I think when it goes back to the whole, on a limited level to teach to the test deal. If you just drill and kill, you're going to get a mindset that is stuck
We're-
at a
yeah.
certain place.
We're raising the tide and lifting the roof.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
It's not just
yeah,
regression
it's
doesn't
kind
mean,
of
yeah.
exploding, and I think, it's astonishing. Really it
Kids are
is.
enjoying it. They're
Oh, they love it.
enjoying learning, and they're finding relevance in what they're learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that hadn't happened in the past.
That's right.
People would think, why do I need this class? Why do I need to learn this? Now we're bringing it together, and we're putting a lot of project-based, we're putting a lot of relevance in everything they learn, everything we teach, and everything we put out. It makes sense to them. And once it starts making sense to them, it starts becoming fun and not a chore. And I think that's super impressive of everybody's work in that.
Well said. Dali, real quick question. The social studies not offered in elementary, so that's why it's not available for distinctions. Why Kano?
Correct.
Same thing for Kano, or why not Kano?
Correct, because U.S. history for end of course is primarily taken in the 11th grade level.
Oh, okay, so it's not even, I got you. So it's not applicable to elementaries or for the 9th grade. campus.
Correct.
Got you, thank you.
Correct. Mhm.
Thank you. Now, please continue, or I don't know if that's.
So again, a lot of celebrations observed there and observed earlier in the board meeting. But again, just have to commend the campuses. There was a lot of gains across the board, across all domains. Again, with the support of our leadership team, I know Noyola, Ms. Cortan, Mr. Villarreal, and Mr. Romero have made a lot of efforts instructionally to guide our campuses to achieve these outcomes. So again, a lot of great success, and I commend this senior team, Dr. Cavazos, and the board for all their work to make this happen. And so I believe that concludes our presentation for today on 2019 STAR results, along with our state accountability ratings.
Thank you. Well, if I can just say, I think maybe the other board members may have some comments as well, but if I could just say, Dalia, since you've been in this role, you have really taken this district to another level in terms of our basically data-driven decisions, and I can't thank you enough for that. Really shining the light where it needs to be shown, and it's been amazing. So thank you for that, and for not using big words in your explanations and statistics and things like just simple. Keep it simple for the board. But it's really amazing what we've done, and I want to just add my own congratulatory remarks on behalf of the board and to all the principals for really getting it, and really understanding that. And I don't want to skip over two of our leaders, or all of our leaders in the room, really. I mean, from our Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Noyola, of course, Loreto Meadow and Joseph Villarreal. I mean, it's amazing that we're now not only providing the leadership, but really the support that the campuses need. It's not a gotcha moment or going there and getting, in trouble. It's really like working the problem together. How do we get there, right? And you can feel it, you can see it. It's really awesome that at every campus we're setting the culture right to where it's not teaching to the test. It's just about creating the optimal learning environments for our kids, right? And yes, you can do the data dives and you can do these things and see where you can, put some focus and do all. And then again, the realizing our dream sort of really highlights that in a very effective way. And might I add that I don't know that there's many other districts that really have such a bold way of really driving the message of that, that we're about accountability, because a lot of folks are afraid to do that. They're afraid they're going to get kicked out of that seat if they start really taking a look that deeply into really looking at, holding ourselves accountable. And we're not afraid to do that. We've already set the system up for this type of responsible rollout and transformation, a couple of years back, 3 years ago. And so now we're just sort of, we're just riding this wave of it's about getting every student across the finish line and getting them, onto sort of a trajectory of self-learning, of basically realizing whatever they want in life, right? And that's what we're trying to do at every campus, the holistic learning of kids, flipping those switches, creating inspiring atmospheres and things like that in all the areas, academics, arts, music, and everything else. And so everything else takes care of itself. And you're seeing this come through in this data, and so I can't wait to see what happens the next 2 or 3 years and just on from there. I mean, because as we get every piece right, the foundation, early literacy, and this and that. I mean, it's just amazing what's happening right before our own very eyes. I remember conversations with, you know, the likes of Javier De Leon and Jerry and, you know, and I mean, going way back since I first got on the board about like, well, you know, this all sounds good, but show me the data. Let's see where, well, now we're seeing it. And now it's like, you know, I mean, you can't even like, it's just sort of like, it's there, right? And so, and here's the cool thing about this district. This is like nowhere even where we want to be. We're like, we're just getting started, you know what I mean? And that's the cool thing is that we're just, how do you call it, Doc? The relentless dissatisfaction or something like that?
Dissatisfaction of the present.
Yeah. We just have a relentless dissatisfaction because we know that until we get every student, you know, off towards a trajectory of excellence and of basically self-learning and where they can achieve anything they want, we're not going to be happy. We're just not. I mean, it's just the way it is. And so that's awesome that we're in this journey with every principal and with every teacher, because that's the only way you impact every student. So thank you, Joseph, Lori, Dr. Neal. I mean, really even, you know, listen, you know, you have a HR department, Debbie over there. I mean, listen, everybody's so critically important in the senior team.
The whole team.
The whole team is driving the whole. I mean, everybody's in the same boat, rowing, and everybody has a critically important. Julio, if we can't put it, the facilities. I mean, everything is so everywhere you look in this district, it's just pure. It's excellence. You know what I mean? It's amazing. You know, and
Our
and
internal auditor.
And then, yeah. I mean, Shane's job is the easiest. He tells all the great stories. I mean, think about it. I mean, you know, in other districts they gotta work hard to find great stories. Here, they just fall in his lap. He's like, papitas. So, but and really, our coach Davies. I mean, just really a really awesome, fresh, fresh leader on our district. But really, also somebody that's already making good impact in the area of our student athletes. And so, just amazing times. I'll shut up now. I think other board members might want to say something, but thank you for the data. Thanks for the.
Thank you.
Well, I think you covered absolutely everything eloquently.
Yeah.
Eloquently. I would just like to add one thing, and this is not a general comprehensive survey that we just walked through. No, it's great to be around gifted and talented minds all the time. I'm honored to be with these people. But it really is everyone, Nolan. It really is everyone. I was sitting there thinking, I don't know another district, perhaps there are many, but I'd never experienced as an old school teacher anything comparable to 3 years of additional required training for our new teachers. And, if we were not actively and creatively working within our teaching force, we would not be able to achieve the results we've achieved. If we were not creatively and actively working in our hiring force before we ever get the teachers, we would not be able to do this. If we were not setting the standards so high for the principals and then doing all of the leadership work that we're doing, we could not do this. And so, it is an astonishing moment in time, isn't it? It's an astonishing moment in time where all of the parties are so integrally, related. We're all part of each other. And just last week, looking at Shane, just last week someone was saying, I've never seen a school district where the community knows so much about what's going on. That's really important. Well, if we didn't have public relations going the way we did, that wouldn't be happening. So it's an extraordinary moment in time when everybody is getting it. And I do truly believe what we said at that meeting. I think we're all working toward the same goal. And with such energy and such creativity, it's just commendable. This is, and Veronica can agree with it, those of us who've been around here quite a while, this is in no way whatsoever even comparable to the school district we used to have even just a few years ago. And when you go back as many generations as I go back, I mean, it's almost like we've changed everything except the name. And kudos for the transformation that this district has been engaged in, and that it is affecting everyone because everyone is participating. It's amazing.
I was worried there's going to be a motion for a name change. Thank God.
She can't do that. We gotta go to committee. So,
So I would last before Doc speaks. If I didn't give a shout out to,
And with such energy and such creativity, it's just commendable. This is, and Veronica can agree with it, those of us who've been around here quite a while, this is in no way whatsoever even comparable to the school district we used to have even just a few years ago. And when you go back as many generations as I go back, I mean, it's almost like we've changed everything except the name. And kudos for the transformation that this district has been engaged in, and that it is affecting everyone because everyone is participating. It's amazing.
I was worried there's going to be a motion for a name change. Thank God.
She can't do that. We gotta go to committee.
So I would last before Doc speaks. If I didn't give a shout out to Veronica Cortan for your amazing leadership, sometimes quiet, sometimes not so quiet, but sometimes quiet, in terms of your organizational development, it really transforming the human capital in this district and the understanding of systems and how they interact and everything else. And so great job, and you guys are just amazing. So Doc, you have to say a few.
So just a quick comment. I want to give it all to the senior team and their incredible leadership. We have indeed the best team that we've assembled. We have the best board. Everybody pulling in the right direction. The way you heard Dalia Garcia present the information is how she rolls out 2.0 realizing our dream, 2.1 realizing our dream with all the layers of learning in our district. So I want to commend the entire team. You all doing an exceptional job. We congratulated all our principals, our leaders, the teachers that are doing the heavy lifting. We don't move these needles just because we say we want to move them. It takes a lot of hard work. So thank you to you all. I want to give them a big thanks for that.
I'd like to make a motion instead of team of 8, team of 20. Is there a second?
Go ahead and take the day off tomorrow. You're fine.
It died for like a second. Okay.
Okay, well, thank you very much. It's awesome. So with that, we'll go into our item 8B, approval of the 2019-2020 district and campus performance objectives. Dr. Noyola.
Thank you, Mr. President. So obviously tonight we heard about the importance of data and the role that it plays in our system, as well as the accountability piece. But one of the critical pieces to achieving that type of performance is ensuring that we are setting objectives and goals for what we want to accomplish. And so certainly over the last 3 years, you all have seen the work that has come through our Realizing Our Dream scorecard and the work that does in driving what we're wanting to accomplish. And so tonight we bring before you approval of the 2019-20 district and campus performance objectives. TEC Code 11.251 does state that the board must annually approve the district and campus performance objectives. These objectives for our district and all our campuses are expected to focus on the improvement of student performance for all student groups in order to attain at or above state standards with respect to the academic excellence indicators that Dalia Garcia mentioned earlier. All the indicators, particularly those in goals 3 and 4, are taken directly from our Realizing Our Dream scorecard. Those, that scorecard and the data that's included on there drives the decision making as we look for academic improvement across our entire district. That said, administration recommends approval of the district and campus performance objectives.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for approval of the 2019-20 district and campus performance objectives as presented by the great Dr. Noyola.
Second. Motion by Mr. Zillion, second by Mr. Jaimes. Any further discussion or questions?
Yes, I would like to make a comment,
please,
before we
please,
vote
please.
and during discussion, and that is to say that, again, with the history of having worked on some of these many years ago, I have never seen this product be so specifically related to exactly what Dr. Noyola was describing, the goals and the objectives. There is such specificity here. This represents incredibly hard work, but it also represents exactly what we are doing and where we want to go. And it gives such clarity, I am sure, to these districts to have it presented in this manner. So thank you very much. This is great.
Excellent. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passed unanimously. At this time, we'll hear the Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee report. Dr. Noyola.
Thank you, Mr. President. On October 1st, we had our regularly scheduled Transforming Teaching and Learning committee meeting. At that meeting, we had 2 presentations that were brought forward to the committee. The first presentation was opened by Mrs. Veronica Corton, Administrator for Organizational Development. She opened the presentation titled UTRGV Harlingen Site, a look at our progress. As part of that presentation, we were fortunate to have David Monreal, the architect for this UTRGV Harlingen project, with us. As part of his presentation, he described the design team that has been composed. Design team made up of HCISD, UTRGV, and community members who will assist us in designing what this future project will look like. He shared the charges of the design team and how they meet on a weekly basis regarding this new facility. He did share some pictures and examples of what the facility could potentially look like as they work through this process. In it, he also shared with us the projected site where it's going to be located, some of the traffic patterns that will be developed through that process. Along those lines, Mrs. Corton also shared that the executive team is working right now on an interlocal agreement between HCISD and UTRGV, as well as sharing what some of the furniture for this facility will look like. And so we're looking at a furniture exposition for the building that will take place in February 2020. And so we're really excited. We will continue to keep our board updated on the progress of this initiative, but we're seeing tremendous opportunities that this project is going to create for all of our students. The second presentation was conducted by Melissa Parker. And so on an annual basis, Melissa comes forward to share the results of our AP testing that happens on a yearly basis. She shared a number of data points, particularly looking at what the 5-year trend looked like when we're looking at participation of students in our AP programming, as well as the performance. In addition, she shared the results of our AP Scholars and how many students we have that are performing at that level. And in conclusion, she shared some of the information with regard to new AP resources that are available for our teachers. Certainly, we know that the success of our students is dependent on the success of our teachers and how well prepared they are. And so one of the things that she's constantly doing is looking for how we can find additional resources that will support the work going on in our classrooms. One of the things that I have to commend Melissa for, certainly since she has joined us, we've seen tremendous progress happening in our AP program. One of the areas I'm most excited about is the success that we're seeing in our AP Scholars. I'll share with you that 3 years ago we had 50 AP Scholars. 3 years later, we're at 81. And so that doesn't happen by chance. That happens through a lot of hard work and effort, not only at the principal administration level, but most certainly at the teacher level, the amount of time and effort that they put to prepare our students for these exams. So I want to commend her, our campus administration and teachers for the tremendous work that they're doing to prepare our students. Dr. Belinda Reiniger chairs our Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee meeting, so I'll turn it over to her.
Thank you, Dr. Noyola. It was a great meeting, and as you stated, it was the UTRGV team working with HCISD. It's clear that the design, the site, the use, the building, the vision for this is truly tremendous. I think we're all really aware that the place that we educate our children matters, what it looks like, what it feels like, how it influences their thoughts. And what's really unique about this facility is it's not only our students at HCISD, but it's making this facility work for UTRGV students as well. So you get this kind of 24/7 potential of education, and the team is doing a great job. So really commend them on thinking about how to make the most of this facility and leverage it. So that was very exciting. And then Ms. Melissa Parker gave a really fabulous presentation thinking about and displaying how we've set the vision, right? We've said we want to grow this area, we want to excel with our AP scholars and how we're pushing our advanced students to do more and reflect that through testing and just knowledge. But what's great about it is, you know, the vision is there, the plan is working, and now there's even more resources being aligned to achieve it. And so as with everything with HCISD, it's this responsible rollout. We're not just throwing out random ideas and seeing what sticks and hoping that it happens, but it's carefully selecting the places we want to move forward, and then putting resources and great people behind it. And so that's just another example of what's happening with this. So we know great things are coming. Thank you.
Excellent comments. Thank you for your leadership, Dr. Reininger, and just keep up the great work. This is amazing, and I appreciate also the counseling piece. We mentioned that before. The counseling piece is also a big part of the AP and dual, and that's awesome to hear that that's going well. So thank you for that. We'll now move to our internal audit quarterly report. Ms. Nelly Ledesma, would you please tell us how we're doing? Don't hold back.
Thank you, Dr. Perez, members of the board, Dr. Cavazos, and senior team members. The audit committee and I met earlier today and heard the following 9 audit reports. A report on the end of the year physical inventory observations, a special activity fund audit for Travis Elementary School, an audit of payroll test of controls, an audit of bid files, an audit of state compliance of LEP student records, an audit of state compliance of special ed eligibility, an audit of state compliance of at-risk coding procedures and student eligibility, an audit of state compliance of career and technical education student eligibility, and an audit of state compliance of gifted and talented students eligibility. These reports were discussed with the audit committee members in detail, and I am here to answer any questions you may have, unless Ms. Fleurier would like to elaborate on what we discussed.
Well, Nellie, we would just like to thank you for such a comprehensive report. In fact, Dr. Reininger was able to join us for the meeting, and it was really remarkable how much has been done, and that was the comment that was made to Ms. Ledesma. We're very grateful for your leadership, and we're delighted to have now an expanded department in your area and have 2 people able to work, and I'm sure you're doing more than twice the work.
Yes, ma'am.
I found it remarkable that for as much as this covered, because it really was truly a comprehensive report, that the findings were so positive, you just unanimously positive, and I think a lot of credit must be given to you for highlighting the training that is required. Every report you provide for us has included the training that is required for all of our staff people, new and experienced, and I think that goes a long way toward accomplishing things that are good in this district, both operationally and financially. So thank you very much. Any questions? Thank you, Nellie.
Nellie, thanks for always doing a great job. Appreciate you. Thank you. At this time, we'll move on to item 10B, approval of list of investment dealers, brokers, and banks. I would like to note my abstention on this matter, on discussion and voting on this matter due to a conflict. Mr. Cavazos.
Thank you, Dr. Perez, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 10B is approval of list of investment dealers and brokers and banks. These are the companies we solicit investment quotes for district funds whenever we have funds to invest with them. Some of the banks we do solicit quotes for CDs include Frost, Lone Star, Texas Regional, among others. This is an annual item that we bring to the board every year. We recommend approval.
Any questions or any comments from the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve a list of investment dealers, brokers, and banks as presented by administration.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Hymas, second by Dr. Reininger. Any further discussion or questions? Here and now, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, and please note my abstention, Sonia. Next item, 10C, consideration and approval of 2019-2020 stop-loss coverage for medical and prescription drug benefit. We'll also be abstaining from discussion and voting on this matter as well. Mr. Cavazos.
Thank you, Dr. Perez, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 10C is consideration and approval of the stop-loss insurance coverage for a self-funded plan. This is the insurance that covers individual claims over $250,000. We did solicit proposals and received two, one from the incumbent Sirius American Insurance and one from Blue Cross. We're recommending Sirius American Insurance. Their proposal for the $250,000 stop loss coverage was $1,346,317 for the plan year. This is around $217,000 lower than what we paid last year. We did work with our health insurance consultant and I recommend approval to continue with Sirius American. Be glad to answer any questions the board might have.
I move approval, Mr. President, of the list, committees of investments. That's not where we are. I'm sorry, we're not there at all. I apologize.
Item C.
We're on
C,
C, yeah.
yes.
I remember that, Julio, I promise. Anyway, I move approval of consideration for the 2019-2020 stop loss coverage for medical and prescription drug benefit.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Fleury, second by Mr. DeLeon. Any further discussion? Here none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And again, please note my abstention due to a conflict. Thank you. At this time, we'll move to item 10D, consideration and approval to award construction services contract for the Harlingen HCISD Golf Skill Station 2019 bid CNST 1019-1. Mr. Cavazos.
Thank you, Dr. Pettis, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 10D is consideration and approval of the golf skill station bid. We solicited proposals and received three. The ranking committee met and ranked the three proposals received and recommending the top rank offer of Peacock Construction at a cost of $306,000 for this project. It is anticipated this project will be completed by mid-March.
Mr. President, I make a motion for approval to award construction services contract for the Harlingen CISD Golf Skill Station 2019 bid CNST 1019-1 as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. DeLeon, second by Dr. Reininger. Any further discussion or questions? I would just like to volunteer if you'd like to demo any equipment or any lessons that, you know, you may want
Okay, hopefully when it's done, we all can try it.
We can all try it.
I'm kidding. So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. And at this time, item 10E, consideration approval to award construction services contract for the tennis court resurfacing at Harlingen High School South, Vela Middle School, and Gutierrez Middle School. Mr. Cavazos.
Thank you, Dr. Pettis, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 10 is consideration and approval of the tennis court resurfacing bids. We solicited proposals and received two. We are recommending the top rank offerer of Tanny Track Construction at a cost of $90,540 plus alternate one of which campus is that? Of Vela Middle School for $21,865 and alternate two of Gutierrez Middle School for $22,860. This will complete all of the tennis court resurfacing that we have for our secondary campuses. We do recommend approval.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve and award construction services contract for the tennis court resurfacing at Harlingen High School South, Vela Middle School, and Gutierrez Middle School as presented by administration.
Second motion.
Motion, Mr. Hyman, second by Ms. Fleury. At this time, any questions or comments by the board? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. And this time we'll consider the approval of final construction payment to Telepro Communications for the elementary surveillance cameras project. Mr. Tapia.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Pettis, for President, members of the board, Dr. Cavazos. We have a final payment to Telepro Communications in the amount of $311.91 in order to close out the project and liquidate the PO. We were just holding back on some minor items that they had to complete. They have completed them, so we're really ready to release final payment, and we discussed this at the last Facilities Committee meeting. I recommend approval.
I move approval of final construction payment to Telepro Communications for the elementary surveillance cameras project as recommended by administration.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Reiner, second by Mr. DeLeon. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. At this time, Mr. Tapia, please proceed with the Facilities Committee report.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Pepper. That is the members of the board. Dr. Cavazos, on October 1st, we had a Facilities Committee meeting. We gave an update on the TRE projects, the Treasure Hills Elementary New Wing. We're about 75% complete. All the building envelopes pretty much done with the roofing. Now we're working on the interior, a lot of the electrical, mechanical, and finish work as well. Also discuss the status of the security fencing, the assessment we've done at the 2 high schools and the Econo Academy with our staff, and we're getting ready to order materials to complete that job ourselves and get a little bit of help on a couple of things from an outside contractor. So we're moving along on that project. The civil jobs, we reported the progress on the extension drive and parking additions we did at Econo Academy and at Harlingen High School. The drinking fountains have pretty much all been done at several elementary schools, Austin, Bowie, Crockett, Sam Houston, Jefferson, Lamar, Long, and Travis. The gym floor is completed. We're just waiting for a couple of small areas where we still have some water damage that the contractor's going to be fixing here pretty soon, and the bleachers will be coming in next month to install and complete that project. The multi-purpose building wall panels are also complete. Milam Elementary is the only one they're working on right now, and we had several elementaries as well on that project. Got a report on Lamar roofing. About 90% of the roof has been repaired and the dried in, and now they're starting with a final cap sheet and about 10-15% of the roof. So by the next meeting, we should be complete. We also kicked off the World Language Academy Phase 2, issued the purchase order to Noble Construction, and if you've been by there, they've already started with some of the trenching for the irrigation system. The tennis courts, we had 2 proposals. We presented the 2 proposals, ranked them, and of course, we just approved it here a little while ago for the 2 high schools, Gutierrez and Vela, and get that project started. The Golf Skills Station, we got bids the 7th, which was Monday. We ranked them, and in time for today's meeting to award, so we can get a jump start on that project as well. And I reported change orders related to Treasure Hills Addition, the re-roofing project, civil projects, and water fountains, and also the final payment that we just approved for the camera surveillance project. And Raymond Mendoza gave an update on the construction financial report. He reported latest activity on the TRE fund expenditures. And then we adjourn the meeting at 4:40. I'll open it up for any questions you might have at this time. Yes, Mr. Powers is not here today.
Mr. Powers is not here. Board members, any questions about any of the updates on the facilities committee report? Any questions at all?
Just a comment, to commend Mr. Tapia and the whole team on just wise use of the funds, but massive improvements across the district.
Thank you.
Without a doubt. Excellent comment. At this time, we'll adjourn to closed or executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section and the Open Meetings Act for the following purposes: discuss appointment of teachers and other professional staff, and discuss superintendent's formative evaluation.
I need the senior
We
team
are
to
now in
remain in
executive
the
session.
audience.
The board in open session for actions on matters discussed in executive session. Consider employment, and the time is now 10:59. Consider employment of teachers and other professional staff. How does the board wish to proceed?
Mr. President, I make a motion to consider the employment of teachers and other professional staff as presented in executive session.
Second.
Motion to hire the teachers as presented, second by Dr. Reiniger. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And item 13B, the superintendent's formative evaluation. There's no action on this item. We appreciate your time, sir, and that was very productive discussion. And this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.